My name is James Menzies. I'm the editor of Truck News Magazine. We're here at the National Gas Vehicles Canada Conference and Exhibition, and I'm joined by Gord Exel, who's the president of Cummins Westport. Now, Gord, it's early in the day, but it looks to be fairly well attended. Are you getting the sense that the momentum that we've seen in natural gas is continuing, or with diesel prices coming down a little bit, is there a little bit of a pause in the momentum?
Well, first, the attendance here is very impressive. I'm actually surprised at how many people are here, so that's very positive. Certainly, diesel pricing affects our business model, but I think overall people expect diesel pricing will probably bounce back up at some point. We know that natural gas pricing has been consistently low for the last few years, so I think it's a short-term threat, but I do honestly believe that people look at the longer-term business case, and I do believe the price of fuel, the fuel price differential that we see between those two fuels will be maintained in the future.
How do you feel about the fueling infrastructure that exists today? Is it growing fast enough to really accommodate the transition to natural gas?
Well, that's not my budget, if you will. I don't have to do the capital spend. I'll do the engine development side, and I think we're doing really well from that perspective. Obviously, I'd like to see more fuel infrastructure out there. Our vehicles can't get on the road without fueling. If we look at the 12-liter product that we just launched, and I'll talk about the U.S. because we've had better adoption down there. Fleets, we've talked to fleets that are holding until they have fuel available. They can't bring the trucks or the vehicles in until they have confidence that they're going to be able to fuel them. And so, fueling infrastructure, I think, continues to be a challenge. It has a large capital exposure for the companies that are developing it, but it has to happen, or we're going to continue at a slower pace.
Okay. What about the product portfolio that's out there? The 12G has been very well received. Do you think that can cover a good breadth of the industry?
Well, obviously it can't cover everything, and it's certainly in Canada it creates some challenges. I mean, here yesterday there was a lot of discussion about the heavier weights that are hauled in trucking in Canada, and so the 12-liter can't do that, but I think it can cover a large portion of the marketplace. We have similar challenges in the U.S. It's not so much weight-driven, but it's range-driven, where you have over-the-road truck companies that are doing truckload routes that are significant from a length perspective. Fueling infrastructure is not there, and that engine's probably not suited for that either. So I think I think we all expect a larger bore engine will come into this space eventually, and it will be needed.
Looking at the two types of storage available on the vehicle, CNG and LNG, are you a bigger believer in one over the other, or do you think it really just does depend on application?
Well, one of the nice things about being in the joint venture is we're fuel agnostic. I mean, our engines will run on both CNG and LNG. So, I guess the first point would be that that doesn't really matter to us. But I think you can certainly see the take-up in CNG appears to be more aggressive than LNG today. But we need to remember that CNG is really where this started, and there was a lot of CNG infrastructure initially, and so a lot of comfort around the CNG fuel. I do think LNG has a place in the future here. I think range, space on the vehicle will create demand for it, and I also think as we get into those longer routes that we're talking about, over the road truckload routes, I think that LNG is the solution for that. I don't think you can put CNG stations everywhere.
Okay. And lastly, what should we expect to see from Cummins Westport in the next little while?
I'm about to speak about some of the developments we've got underway, but one is previously announced 6.7 liter based on the ISB diesel, so we've got that in development. We're also working with some companies in California on a low NOx, low emission solution to compete with electric and fuel cell vehicles in the market. And both of those are sort of in the time for the 2016 timeframe.
Okay. So lots of R&D still going on. You're still bullish on natural gas?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.